शांति शांति। अंतर मन में ज्योति जगा लो, होगा दूर अंधेरा। शिव का कर लो ध्यान, आ रहा पावन पुण्य सवेरा। अपने आप को जानो, राजयोग के द्वारा अपना परम पिता पहचानो। इसी राजपथ पर चलकर तुम पालो अपना बसेरा। तुम हो आत्मा तन से न्यारे, परमात्मा को प्यारे। दिव्य गुणों को धारण करके योगी बनो दुलारे। ज्योति बिंदु ही तोड़ेगा ये माया मोह का घेरा। अंतर मन में ज्योति जगा लो, होगा दूर अंधेरा। ओम शांति शांति ओम शांति।
शिव बाबा, ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा, तेरा ज्ञान है निराला। मीठी मुरली तेरी है अमृत का प्याला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा, तेरा ज्ञान है निराला। मीठी मुरली तेरी है अमृत का प्याला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा, देह में रहते विदेही बनकर, जीते जी मर जीवा बनकर। देह में रहते विदेही बनकर, जीते जी मर जीवा बनकर। अमृत वेले देता बाबा वरदानों की माला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा तेरा ज्ञान है निराला, मीठी मुरली तेरी है अमृत का प्याला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा। चेतन रूप का बोध कराया, गीता ज्ञान अनुभव में आया। चेतन रूप का बोध कराया, गीता ज्ञान अनुभव में आया। किस्मत सबकी बदल ही डाली, क्या से क्या कर डाला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा तेरा ज्ञान है निराला, मीठी मुरली तेरी है अमृत का प्याला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा। सब धर्मों को एक बनाने, सबका जीवन नेक बनाने। सब धर्मों को एक बनाने, सबका जीवन नेक बनाने। जीने की वो कला सिखाकर देता नया उजाला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा तेरा ज्ञान है निराला, मीठी मुरली तेरी है अमृत का प्याला। ओ प्यारे शिव बाबा।
Good morning, Om Shanti. So like yesterday, we're going to have one Murli class here. And so those who need translation in Hindi or other languages, you can take the headset in the back or join a Vyakti Parivar directly. तो एक ही क्लास रहेगा, इंग्लिश और हिंदी यहाँ पर ही। जिसको भी हिंदी में ट्रांसलेशन चाहिए, पीछे हेडसेट है तो आप उसको ले सकते हैं और ट्रांसलेशन का लाभ ले सकते हैं। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti. Good morning. So today Baba is giving us some very important advice. Children, stop looking at others. And when we really think that for 63 births, that's been the default position of our whole mindset, to be extrovert and keep focusing on others, their behavior. It's just such a deep sanskara that all of us have collected, because we didn't receive love from Baba. And we need love, we need belonging, we need care. So where did I look for love and care? It was to others, to family and friends. And so this habit of really watching others, how deep is it? And there's two things really. One, I develop expectations of how you should love me and treat me. And secondly, that if the expectations aren't fulfilled, then my mind starts to have hurt, upset, negative feelings. So it's like we've honed this mentality for half a cycle. And then Baba comes in one little sentence says, stop thinking about others. And to me, this is one of the biggest shifts on this journey with Baba. Because in this life with Baba, we make these profound shifts deep in the psyche of the soul. And one of them is that I shift my vision from extrovert, seeing others, to introvert and seeing what I need to do. And once I remember Baba said, the one who follows the path of truth sees the self. The one who follows the path of falsehood sees others. And I love the language in Hindi, which is Pachintan. And to me, that's like a mind that's always extrovert, just lost in people, their behaviors, how they should be, what they have done. The mind absorbed in others. And in a sense, as Baba's saying, it's like self-deception. And now Baba's saying in this life with Baba to bring this incredible shift, to start to see myself and what I need to do. And this is one of the biggest changes that needs to happen. And how can it happen? You know, to me, the first step is we start to remember Baba, feel love from Baba. So rather than seeking that love, that respect, that connection, that response from others, I start to get it from Baba. But the second step is what I call the first law of spirituality. And the first law of spirituality says, I am responsible for how I feel. I am responsible for how I feel. People can be rude, people can be difficult, people can do this, people can do that. But I always have a choice. I can think about it and be disturbed, or I can observe it and maintain who I am. Well, our habit for a long time is to think about it and feel disturbed. And yet now Baba is really saying to us that, you know, I am responsible. And to me, when I really take that on board, that's the key that begins to really shift this habit of watching others and being disturbed by others, to seeing, rather than watching others, I watch my reaction to others. You know, someone once said to me, I remember, that if someone is rude or difficult or behaves badly, what hurts me? Is it their behavior or is it my reaction to their behavior? It's actually my reaction. We all know it intellectually. But when I really take this truth, this absolute truth on board, and I take responsibility. So when something's going on, I say, why did I feel like that? And I keep looking at the self. This, I think, is one of the main shifts in Brahman life. And one, it keeps me close to Baba. And secondly, it starts, I think, to shift my relationships with others. Because if I first remember Baba, second, take responsibility for how I feel, I can then genuinely have good wishes for other people. So what's happening is I'm starting to clear my mental accounts with everybody. Because you know those mental accounts, they're like magnets. You know those magnets that sort of, it's like your mind is magnetized to another individual and their behavior and their actions. And yet Baba starts to heal me of this. And I remember I was having breakfast with Nivebai one day. I can't remember, it was probably about 2021 when Daddy Gozar was in Mumbai. And halfway through breakfast, he just said, "Oh, Daddy Gozar rang me this morning," and she said, Baba pulled her into trance. And as far as I remember, or I'm aware, it was the last trance message that she gave. And Baba mentioned 3 things. The first, children, build your account of remembrance, the account of yoga, the power of yoga. But the second thing was clear all your mental accounts with every human soul. That's powerful, isn't it? And in a way, I feel that's one of the biggest shifts for us, that if you ask most Brahmins what's still the issue in Brahmin life is these mental accounts with 1 or 2 or 5 individuals that are always disturbing me and upsetting me. And even after a lifetime of spiritual study, I still blame them. Subtly, I feel it's them, but actually it's not, it's me. And in not that it's my weakness in that sense, it's just that I have to take responsibility. If I really want to change these accounts and clear all my mental accounts, because what stops me remembering Baba is these mental accounts, these chronic pulls to a certain person or a certain behavior or a certain attitude that affects me. And so this incredible shift Baba takes us on in this life, to shift from dwelling on others, thinking about others, projecting on others, to thinking about the self and what I need to do. If I'm allowing myself to be influenced, take the responsibility to change myself, because I can't change you. We all know this truth, and we fall into this habitual pattern. The third thing that Baba said was to store food. So a very practical thing. But today Baba is really saying that when we stop thinking about others, I benefit the self. Really, if we get this deeply, it's not about others. I feel all relationships do is trigger what is in me. All others do is trigger what is already sitting in me. And the one who sees truth will see the self. The one who sees falsehood will constantly look back towards the other. So Baba's talking about this deep shift today. So the essence, sweet children, stop thinking about others and benefit yourselves. Become like gold and show this path to others. And a question: what are the main signs of those who constantly make effort to become bodiless? Silence power, maybe. They do not have to control their physical senses by force, for their physical senses automatically become cool. They have a natural awareness that we souls are brothers. They continue to renounce body consciousness and thereby finish any intoxication of name and form. They don't remember other beings. The song: you are the ocean of love, we thirst for one drop. Om Shanti. That one is not just the ocean of love, but he is also the ocean of knowledge. There is knowledge and ignorance. Knowledge is the day and ignorance is the night. The word knowledge is good, whereas the word ignorance is bad. For half a cycle there is the reward of this knowledge, and for half a cycle there is the reward of ignorance. We also get the reward of ignorance. The reward of ignorance is sorrow. The reward of ignorance is sorrow, and the reward of knowledge is happiness. These matters are very easy to understand. There is the day of this knowledge and the night of ignorance. No one knows what this knowledge is or what ignorance is. These are matters of the unlimited. You explain to everyone what this knowledge is and what devotion is. You become worthy of worship through this knowledge. When you are becoming worthy of worship, you come to know about the paraphernalia of worship. You know that all the temples, etc., are memorials. You know all the life stories. So the devotees have no idea of the background of the temples, and yet we know why people have built the temples. Those who perform worship do not know the life stories of the ones they worship. Worshipping is called devotion. God has to meet his devotees in order to give them the fruit of their devotion. God comes and makes those who are worshippers into those who are worthy of worship. You are worthy of worship in the Golden Age and worshippers in the Iron Age. You children know what you are today and what you will become tomorrow. Destruction will definitely take place. It can take place at any time. The preparations for it are being made. It is remembered that there are to be many natural calamities. You should write. Baba's very upfront, isn't he? Very open. You should write civil wars and natural calamities cannot be called godly calamities. So what are they? They are fixed in the drama. There will also be natural calamities. They will help in this destruction. There will also be torrential rainfall and famine. There will be earthquakes too. Destruction will take place through all of these things. You children know that all of this will definitely happen. How else would there be so few human beings in the Golden Age? Destruction definitely takes place all at once. You children understand very well that all of these dirty clothes will be washed by this huge, unlimited machinery. So this huge washing machine that's going to clean up this whole world. It's an incredible thing. It's like this karmic washing machine that's just going to clear everything. It is said that God washes the dirty clothes. It is not a question of physical clothes, but it refers to bodies. Souls have to be washed. How are souls washed? What's the washing powder? Not Lux today. With the power of yoga. At this time, the 5 vices are tamo pradhan, Can vices be Sato Pradhan? Tamo Pradhan. And so the bodies that have been created are also like that. The purifier Father comes and purifies you. Everyone else will be destroyed. You know how you become pure. You are shown a very easy path. Human beings don't understand anything. You should go and explain to them whenever they hold a sacrificial fire on the path of devotion. You can become deities by understanding the biography of those whom you worship. Come and understand how they attained liberation in life, or how you too can attain the same. When you explain their life stories in the temples, so the stories of the idols, whoever are the deities they worship, they will be able to understand very clearly. You are also listening to their life stories from the Father. You children have received so much understanding. No one knows the life story of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. Isn't that incredible? Still till this day, something like 70 to 80% of the world have a belief in God. That's 6 billion people, and yet no one really knows. And yet we pride ourselves on being so intelligent, and yet we're worshipping a being that we don't really know. By then saying that he is omnipresent, there cannot be a life story. You children now know the life story of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. That is, you know the beginning, the middle, and the end. This time when the Father comes and purifies the impure is called the beginning. Then there is the part of devotion in the middle. The Father says, I come at this time and carry out establishment. I inspire it to be carried out. I am Karan Karavanha, the one who acts himself and then acts through others. Giving inspiration is not called doing it yourself. Baba comes and carries it out through the physical organs of this one. There is no question of inspiration in this. Karan Karavanha would definitely come in person and work through this one. Nothing is achieved through inspiration. A soul cannot do anything without a body. Many people say that God does everything through inspiration. So what are the things we ask Baba? Baba, inspire my husband to put his intellect right. So who's asked Baba to do that? Oh, quite a few. Baba, please inspire my husband to put his intellect right. The Father says, what will Baba say about that? The Father says, there is no question of inspiration in this. Otherwise, why is the birthday of Shiva celebrated? If everything were accomplished through inspiration, why would he come? Firstly, they don't know who God is. They simply say everything happens through God's inspiration. How can the incorporeal one do anything through inspiration? He is Karan Karavanha. He comes and shows us the path. He speaks the muli through these physical organs. How could he play the muli unless he took the support of physical organs? He is the ocean of this knowledge. Therefore, he needs a mouth in order to speak this knowledge. You children now know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the whole world. You have received this full knowledge. People without this knowledge believe that there can't be salvation. Who can give this knowledge? Just look at the difference between the path of this knowledge and the path of ignorance. They also speak of science, Vigyan. They also speak of science, Vigyan. Ignorance is darkness. However, we can say that this knowledge, Gyan, and science, Vigyan, are liberation and liberation in life. You are now receiving this knowledge to become pure. You are becoming the spinners of the discus of self-realization. Anyone who hears this would be amazed. Are you amazed? Yeah. It is said that since souls receive this knowledge, souls will definitely carry those sanskaras. Since you change from humans into deities, this knowledge should remain. But the Father explains that this effort is for receiving a reward. Once you have received the reward, what need would there be for this knowledge? The Golden Age is the reward for you children. You are amazed when you hear these things. Why has this knowledge not existed from time immemorial? The Father says this knowledge disappears. Once it is the day, there is no ignorance for there to be the need of this knowledge. So once we're pure, we're happy, we don't need it. These matters have to be understood and explained. No one can understand instantly. Shiv Baba only comes in Bharat, and he brings a gift for you children in order to give you the fruit of your devotion. After devotion, there is salvation. This destruction will definitely take place. There are signs of this. You continue to hear about how there was just a spark and how a whole building completely burnt down within a few hours. Once I was in Sarajevo, which is in Bosnia-Herzegovina in Europe, and I was walking in the town with the sisters. My throat. And there's a little plaque on a building, and it said that the Archduke Ferdinand was assassinated in this place. And that began the First World War. Just one little spark. And that's, I think, we can see so much is happening in the world as building, but it's just going to be one little spark that's going to tip. And everything will start to unravel. So Baba was saying, just like a little spark can burn down a whole building. This is nothing new. Destruction definitely has to take place. 4th or 5th time Baba has said. In the Golden Age, there are only a few elevated human beings. It takes so much effort to become elevated. Is that true? Everyone's nodding. Maya catches hold of you by the nose. Those who fall like this are very badly hurt. It takes time. The thing that causes the most damage is the vice of lust. This is why it is said that lust is the greatest enemy. It is this that makes you impure. There is quarreling because of lust. If they don't if they don't leave you alone, but force you to indulge in vice, you should definitely say, it would be better to wash dishes than this, to go out and support myself. I shall sweep and mop the floor, but at least I shall remain pure. A lot of courage is needed for this. When someone seeks refuge with the Father, Maya also begins to battle. The illness of the 5 vices erupts even more. First of all, let your intellects have firm faith. You have died alive. The anchor has been raised from here. You have left this iron-aged vicious shore. We are now going on the pilgrimage. It's a wonderful image, isn't it? You lift up your anchor in the old world. You're on this amazing pilgrimage to the new world. We are becoming bodiless and returning home. You souls have the knowledge that we will shed these bodies and take others. While living at home with our families, we remain as pure as a lotus and also stay on this pilgrimage. Keep it in your intellects that this is a graveyard. We are going to that land of happiness. Baba is showing you ways with which he can give you the inheritance. We stay in yoga in order to become pure. Children, your sins will only be absolved by having remembrance. One method. You souls will then shed your bodies. This pilgrimage is so wonderful. Simply remember the Father and your kingdom. You are unable to remember something so simple. Simply remember Alpha, that's all. However, Maya doesn't allow you to remember even this much. It requires effort. You souls have received this knowledge that our Baba has come. You souls are studying. A soul takes birth with a body. Souls are brothers. When you become body conscious, there are so many relations. Here you are. Brothers and sisters out there. You are brothers and also brothers and sisters. This is the family path. Both need an inheritance. It is souls who make effort. The only effort is for each of you to consider yourself to be a soul. Let there not be any body consciousness. If there is no body, how can you indulge in vice? I was thinking, if there's no body consciousness, how can I do that? I am a soul and I have to go to the Father. The consciousness of bodies must not remain. The more yogi you become, the result, the quieter your physical senses will become. When you become body conscious, your physical senses cause mischief. The soul knows he is attaining something and will continue to be detached from the body. The physical senses will then also become peaceful. Sannyasis control their senses. How do they do it? We do it with yoga. They control their senses with drugs. That is, how would you describe that? Hatha yoga. You have to do everything with yoga. And you not control your senses with the power of yoga. The more soul conscious you become, the more peaceful your senses will become. You have to make a lot of effort. The attainment is also great. The Father says you become the masters of the world with the power of yoga. It is because you conquer your physical senses that the yoga of Bharat is very well known. You change from humans into deities, from impure to pure. Subjects are also the residents of heaven. You become the residents of heaven with the power of yoga. You cannot become these with physical power. There isn't a lot of effort required. For the Kumaris, it is as though there is no effort. They are free. Once you have indulged in vice, there are many complications. It is good to remain a Kumari. Otherwise, you receive the name Adha Kumari, half Kumari. Why should you become a couple? In that too, there is the intoxication of name and form. This too is foolishness, Baba says. So, but the whole rest of the mula is about remaining a Kumari. After becoming a couple, a lot of courage is required to remain pure. There has to be the total enlightenment of this knowledge. Many have courage, but once there is the slightest effect of a fire, everything is over. And this is why Baba says it is still good to be a Kumari. Why should there even be the thought of becoming an Adha Kumari? The name of the Kumaris is glorified. They are celibate from birth. It is good to remain celibate. There is power in this. Then no one else will be remembered. If you have courage, you can demonstrate this. However, Baba says again, it does require effort. There are two of you. When you are a Kumari, you are alone. When there are two of you, there is duality. As far as possible, it is good to remain a Kumari. A Kumari can even go on service. Once you are tied in bondage, the bondages will increase. Why should you set a trap in which your intellect becomes trapped? It is not good to be trapped in such a trap. It is very good for the Kumaris. The Kumaris had glorified Baba's name. The name Kanyaya, is that it? Thank you. Is remembered. It is very good to remain a Kumari. How many times has Baba said that in the last 5 minutes? It is very easy for them. A student life is a pure life. The intellect also remains fresh. Kumars have to become like Bisham Patamai. You become this in the previous cycle, and this is why there is the memorial in the Dilwara temple. The Father gives you, children, the order. Children, remember me. Renounce everything else and benefit yourselves. Only in remembering the Father is there benefit. When you children make mistakes, you fall. Don't think about others. Just benefit yourselves. Don't think about anything else at all. Become like gold and also show the path to others. There is only the one way to become Sato Pradhan. You cannot go to the land of liberation without becoming pure. There is just the one way, and then your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. Renounce gossiping. Otherwise, you will cause yourself a loss. The Father is not cursing you, but when you do not follow Srimad, you curse yourself. Acha? Acha? So what do you say it in here? English or Hindi or? To you sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bapdada. The spiritual Father says Namaste to you spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual Father. The essence.
Hello. सभी यूनानी सेंटर्स के प्रजापिता ब्रह्मा मुखवंशावली सर्विसेबल बच्चों पर थे मधुबन से रूहानी बाप दादा और बच्चों का दिलवदान शिकव प्रेम से सभी बच्चों को याद प्यार और गुड मॉर्निंग। मीठे मीठे रूहानी बच्चों पे रूहानी बाप व दादा का दिलजान से प्रेम से याद प्यार और गुड मॉर्निंग। मीठे मीठे सिकले जो रूहानी बच्चों पे रूहानी बाप का नमस्ते। बाबा निवासी सभी सर्विसेबल प्रजापिता ब्रह्मा कुलभूषण बेटी खुश रहो और आबाद रहो, न विसरो न याद रहो।
So when you hear that, where does your intellect travel? To the history hall? Can you sort of picture? And isn't it amazing? I can remember when I first went to Madhavan, history hall seemed quite big. And now it seems so tiny. And I've met Baba in Baba's room, in Pandav Bhavan, in the history hall, in the meditation hall, in Om Shanti Bhavan, in Harmony Hall in Gyansrava, and then Diamond Hall. And even a few times we met Baba in the courtyard of Pandav Bhavan. When the numbers were too big for the meditation hall, we used to sometimes sit in the courtyard. And Baba would sit in front of the door into the entrance to the office, and we'd actually all sit around in the courtyard, so many places. But most of the times I met Baba when I first went was in the history hall. And look now in Diamond Hall. with 30,000 of your dear brothers and sisters. It's amazing change, isn't it? So the essence, have a faithful intellect and raise your anchor from this old world while alive. Follow every one of the Father's orders and benefit yourself. 2. What will 2 be? Remain a Kumari. No. Stop thinking about others and make your intellect as pure as gold. Don't waste your time gossiping. Make your physical senses cool and peaceful with the power of yoga, the blessing. May your intellect be filled with such faith that your victory and success are guaranteed, and so you are constantly carefree. The children whose intellects constantly have 100% faith in the Father, in their own parts and in every act of the drama, at every second, have guaranteed victory and success. Because of having guaranteed victory, they are constantly carefree. No signs of worry are visible on their faces. They constantly have the faith that their task or thought is already accomplished. They never have any questions in any situation. The slogan: to change intentions and feelings in relating or hearing something is to spoil the atmosphere. So maybe to have a slightly wrong motive in passing on information or whatever changes the atmosphere. The Avyak signal. And today's a new theme. Finish the seed of impurity and become completely clean. In terms of complete purity, even waste thoughts are seeds of impurity. The majority of you children still have the sanskara of having wasteful thoughts. The basis of waste thoughts is a mind that does not allow you to become Manmanabhav. Therefore, tighten the reins of Srimat and finish all the impurity of waste thoughts. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, Baba's thoughts for today. So maybe, excuse me, we can just have a minute of remembrance. So Baba always takes up different themes, and often the construct of a Murli is he will take up a theme and then move on to something, then come back and build on that. And often Baba even does that over many weeks. He'll take up a theme and start to build on the themes. But one thing that always appears in our Murli, and what did Baba say today? Baba's order is, remember me. I know sometimes I reflect because, when you sit with Baba, you reflect deeply on your life, and I sometimes think, why did I come to Baba? Why did I start? And the answer that comes is to transform myself and become pure. And then if I ask the question, why am I still here after all these years? I think it's the same answer. To transform myself and become pure. And sometimes I think there's one soul in eternity that retains truth. Only one soul is never influenced, never becomes impure, retains all truth. And what's the main direction from that soul that is always pure and truthful? Remembrance, 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 remembrance. And it's almost like we absorb the whole ocean of knowledge for one thing: to live my life and keep the intellect with one. Ultimately, this is our life and this is our study. To, no matter what lifestyle I have, responsibility, I'm on this constant pilgrimage to keep the intellect with one. The more I go on in my Brahman life, I think I love everything natural. Do you like natural things? And honestly, I really believe that this life, the true Raja Yoga, is completely natural. If I find myself pushing myself, forcing myself, pressuring myself, having expectations, I think they're very devotional bhakti sanskaras. That's the bhakti approach. It's all about force and pressure. But Raj Yoga is completely natural. And once I asked Jayanti Ben, what's the main thing you learned from Daddy Janki? Imagine how much she learned from Daddy living, sharing the same room for all those years. The thing she said straight away was how to love Baba. And the more I go on, I really feel, what is Raja Yoga? It's just falling in love with Baba. It's the most natural thing. No one has to teach us how to fall in love. It's our DNA. It's in our DNA to fall in love. All Baba is saying, children, fall in love with me, which is the most natural thing for anyone to do. And when I naturally fall in love, I naturally remember. It's a natural consequence of the one you love. And when you naturally remember Shiv Baba, automatically you kickstart a natural process of change. Because you're remembering one who's incorporeal and egoless and viceless, and automatically my sanskaras start to move in that direction. And when I naturally transform, who I am begins to serve. I don't have to serve through having a clever intellect or special skills or talents. Just my personality, my vibrations, my face, my energy will naturally serve. And I'm always really fascinated that Baba never uses the word meditation. Does Baba ever say, children, meditate on me? So Baba virtually never uses the word meditate. Even he says yoga is the word of devotion and bhakti. The word he always uses is remembrance. Why? Because it's completely natural. The most natural thing of the human intellect is to remember. At every millisecond, the intellect is remembering what I have to do, what I've done, what you said, what I said. That functionality is constantly happening. And really all Baba is just saying is redirect that nature of remembrance towards me. But when I remember Baba, three things happen at the same time, instantly. And the way I sort of visualize it, because it's helped me, because if this is the most fundamental practice of this life, how much have I really mastered it? And to me, the intellect is like a subtle thread. The intellect is always traveling. So when you remember a person, it's like your subtle thread travels and touches that person. When you remember a memory, it's like the subtle thread connects with that. So when you remember, first the intellect, the thread of the intellect connects. And whatever you touch, the subtle thread touches will influence you instantly. Whatever influences you, that's how you feel. That's your experience. And fundamentally, that's your stage. And so if you're sitting here now in this room and your subtle thread travels home and remembers a family member, connects, and it's a loving relationship, the millisecond you touch, you're influenced by that love and you feel calm, relaxed. But if you're sitting here now at this second and your thread travels to home and you touch a family member, a person you're in conflict with, there's problems, you're not getting on. The millisecond you touch, instantly you feel uncomfortable, you feel negative, angry, hurt. And that is the feeling inside. So in other words, really, wherever this subtle thread is plugging into and traveling to is influencing me, and that's governing how I feel inside, what I feel inside. Sometimes, I sit at Amrit Vela and I have this incredibly pure thought. This is the time to have unadulterated remembrance. And sometimes you sit and in 3.2167 seconds, you've traveled. You've traveled somewhere and you've connected. And it may not be negative at all. It may be doing some responsibility. But how deep is the habit to travel, to connect with something rather than Baba? Because I think, the myth that we've all been brought up with, the whole of our culture has been brought up with this myth. Peace, love, and happiness is out there. Someone is going to give me peace. Someone's going to love me. So you sit to remember Baba, to go in, and you travel out, you travel out, you travel out. And this is, when I began to really, really pay attention to where this subtle thread travels, I developed so much respect for Brahma Baba, because I feel he was just constantly observing where this subtle thread travels, because it's instant. It's not even any time, it'll travel instantly and connect. This is ultimately effort. Where does the subtle thread of my intellect travel to? And what I've observed is that all day the subtle thread's traveling, plugging in here, plugging in there, plugging in there. And then we plug into all these places, and then we wonder why my mood's not that great, why I don't feel that happy. Because I just keep plugging into these old stories, these old situations, and I am influenced by that, and I download the moods, the energy, the feeling. What are we doing here? What's Baba's way? Baba's way is to remember him. And the way I sort of see it, it's like when I connect, the subtle thread is accurately connected to Shiv Baba. You live stream Baba's vibes into the sacred space of your mind. This is the highest feeling, It's almost like you draw Baba's pure feelings and vibrations in your mind. My experience is when I do that, I feel so comfortable. It's like content. I have what I need. It sustains me. It sustains the atmosphere around me. And honestly, it even sustains the people you're connected with. I feel we're at a time where in all our families, even in the Brahman family, people are going through so much upheaval. There's so much going on in the world. And we think, how can I support them? And often we give that emotional support. We sit with people, talk. You'll be okay. And what happens? They're okay. And then tomorrow, they're back down here again. And, whereas spiritual support is just literally keeping those sweet, light, pure, divine vibes of Baba in your mind. And it's like a perfume that you create as you move around. But when the subtle thread is constantly plugging into people, my family, how they are, what's going on, what should be happening, it's a low vibration. I don't feel that great. I'm a Brahmin. I have faith in God, but I don't feel that happy. But because of faith, I have this sanskar of faith. So I just go along. Why? Because the subtle thread is chronically going to people. What did Baba say today? Thinking about others. And sometimes the addiction of thinking about the family, thinking about the children, worrying about them, it is so deep that it almost cancels out my relationship with Shiv Baba. I believe in Baba, but I'm not really getting the real benefit of that relationship. Or if the subtle thread is always having remembrance of me and my weaknesses and my mistakes, lowest vibration. And this is where really the laws of remembrance, I feel, the first law of remembrance says, pay attention to what I remember. To me, effort is attention. It's creating a sanskara just to watch wherever the subtle thread is connecting. And to me, that's what Brahma Baba would just be tweaking it. As soon as it goes in a direction I don't want, bring it back. Because you know how sometimes you start to think about somebody and their behavior and you dwell on it and you dwell on it more and you think about it more and you dwell on it more. And before you know it, you're in a really not a very happy place. Because we sort of dwell on this situation and take myself into a dark place. First law, pay attention to what I remember. Second law, whatever I connect with or remember will influence me. It's almost like I put myself under a karmic thing. It will influence me. It will affect me. And the third law, whatever influences me, fundamentally that's how I feel inside. So the connection is the first thing, wherever they travel, but that will ultimately lead to how I'm feeling, my stage inside. And I feel that if I'm not happy, there's only one question to ask myself. What have I been remembering? What have I plugged my intellect into? Because it's almost subconscious sometimes. We plug it into what I feel is an unfair situation. And I think about it, dwell on it, and then I feel miserable. And then I wonder why I'm miserable. It's obvious. And this is why Baba says he knows all the dramas going on in this world. We all have a lot. And yet within that he says, children, connect to me and you will remain light and you will remain happy. And it's almost like a tug of war, between, is my intellect under the influence of my karmic stories that just keep pulling me to the people and Lokik family and everything? Or is my intellect under the influence of love and power that pulls me to Baba? It's like this tug of war that is going on. This is effort to really go there. And once I saw Baba meet Daddy Nirmala Shanta. And Daddy Nirmala Shanta, I think everyone knows, Baba's daughter. And she sat in front of Baba. She was about 95 years old. They'd wheel her up on the stage. And Baba gave her drishti. And then Baba said, "You're busy, aren't you?" She just nodded. Baba gave her more drishti, and Baba said, "You're very busy, aren't you?" And then Baba said, "Many drops make an ocean." And what Baba meant was drops of remembrance make an ocean. And Baba said to her such practical things. When you finish a meeting and you walk down the hall, go to Baba. When you go to get a glass of water, go to Baba. All those little moments in the day, actually we think we're busy, but we're a lot freer than we think. And when we collect the drops, it builds spiritual power. So I began to practice that. I thought, yes. And what I observed is that, when you have a meeting with someone and you walk down the hall, the habit to analyze or process what I felt. So actually all the time that I could be free mentally to remember Baba, we have this sort of addiction to analyzing how I felt, what they said, or processing, rather than creating this habit. When I'm free, go to Baba, free, go to Baba, go to Baba, go to Baba. And really I feel that if I learn that method, we all have responsibilities. Sometimes you have to focus on the responsibility. The second that finishes, if I develop the habit, go to Baba, go to Baba, go to Baba, you build the account of remembrance, you build power in your life, you feel happier and you feel stronger. And really I think, this is how to live as a karma yogi in this world. Because often we feel sort of so overweighted by our responsibilities, and then, we get to lunchtime, afternoon tea, and we think, oh, I've hardly remembered Baba. The day goes and you suddenly think, what's happened? And yet this is the fundamental practice of this life, is to really keep my intellect with one. And what I began to do was realizing how easy it is to get absorbed. And it's not even something negative. It can be Baba's service. Service is good. But the ultimate practice of this life is remembrance. So I began to sort of challenge myself that give little chunks of time. Like we're about to finish the Murli now and we're going to go to breakfast. What happens in my mind as I walk to the dining room? Do I just sort of think anything? Let my mind wander anywhere? Or do I remember Baba? So that little chunk, at breakfast, how much do I remember Baba? When I go back to my room, how much do I remember Baba? Like these little chunks of time, because it's remembrance that's going to build that spiritual strength within me. And ultimately, it's what is going to transform the soul, purify the soul. And this is really what Baba is suggesting we do. And there's like 4 layers of remembrance in a way. There's like a gross remembrance, which is like a remembrance through the sense organs. And that's where most people live in the Iron Age, just remembering what's happening around, just the boring, normal daily life where really we're body conscious. So the intellect is under the influence of the sense organs. There's a creative remembrance when you're beyond the sense organs. This is why I think a lot of people get a lot of satisfaction from music and art and this sort of thing, because you're not grossly remembering what you're seeing and hearing, but you're creating in your mind. There's even a subtle remembrance of elevated beings. So religious people, they remember Krishna, they remember Christ, they remember, elevated beings. And they get a lot from that, but they're still remembering a name and form of Christ or Krishna or Buddha or whoever it may be. So they don't really transform. They still remain subtly body conscious, even though they're feeling better. There's supreme remembrance when I become the bodiless soul and I'm absorbed in Shiv Baba, the Supreme Soul. And this is where we Brahmins, this is where Baba wants us to be and where we all want to be too. And I think, to me, I've just decided effort is just paying attention. It's paying attention to where the subtle thread of my intellect is traveling. And each day, Baba's reminding us, children. And then today, the order. What was the order? Remember me. Okay, so let's just have a few minutes, and I don't know, is there anything to be mentioned, Devbhai? Yeah.
So we will have a few minutes of remembrance, and there is going to be Tai Chi offered here for those who would like to do Tai Chi. And then we'll have breakfast and come back here by 9:30. Okay? So you got the formula what to do when you walk to the dining room. What are you going to do? What remembrance? Supreme remembrance. Yeah? And while having the breakfast and coming back. Okay. Om Shanti.
सद्गुरु सखा तुम्ही तो एक हमारे हो, शिक्षक तुम्ही रक्षक तुम्ही दिल के तुम्ही सहारे हो, मिला सारे रिश्तों का प्यार तुमसे ओ बाबा, जुड़ गई है मन की तार तुमसे, शक्तियाँ मिल रही अपार तुमसे। दुनिया से दूर तारों के गान तुम मुझे ले आए हो, कांटों से दूर की बाहों का तुमसे ओ बाबा जुड़ गई है मन की तार तुमसे ओ बाबा शक्तियाँ मिल रही अपार तुमसे
Yeah.
无常。